Sam Darnold is head to Carolina. I know that happened last week, but we weren't really able to talk about it much. How well do you think he does with the Panthers?
I think Sam Darnold's actually not a bad quarterback. I don't think he's a great quarterback. I just think the Jets wasted his potential. So I think now that he actually has a somewhat of a supporting cast, he'll actually do a lot better. But I still, like I said, I don't think he's going to be like take the Panthers to the next level. But I think he's going to at least have a better year than he would with the Jets.
Well, I mean, you said he had a better supporting staff. I think he does, but at the same time, I don't think he does. I know he definitely gets an upgrade after leaving the Jets because that's where everybody goes to die. But he's going to Carolina, and they don't have much of a supporting cast either. Yeah, they have Christian McCaffrey, but he missed 13 games last season. I mean, DJ Moore is a mediocre receiver. Robbie Anderson's not that bad. The offensive line's not great. The defense can't stop anybody. I just don't know if he gets much of an upgrade going to Carolina. I think he would have been so much better if he went to San Francisco or even a place like, Denver. I think he would have had a better option. But I just don't think he has. I don't think he goes from a terrible situation to a bad situation, in my opinion, because the Panthers, again, don't have a lot outside of McCaffrey. And if McCaffrey gets hurt again, I mean, Teddy Bridgewater was a good quarterback, but he struggled because there's really nobody that the Panthers have outside of Robbie Anderson when Christian McCaffrey goes down. So I'm a little worried about that. Speaking of San Francisco, they were willing to give a first-round pick to Sam Darnold per reports. Now, there's been multiple reports that say that's either true or not true. Do you think Sam Darnold would have been better in San Francisco?
I think yeah, I think the biggest problem that he faces is he needs to have a good support system. I think that really impacts his play, kind of like Andy Dalton. I think Andy Dalton's not necessarily a bad quarterback, but his play really depends on how good his receivers are and his offensive line. Because you saw with him back when they had like AJ Green healthy and good running backs and good receivers, he did really good. But once that supporting system go went away, he didn't do so good. So yeah, I think it's the same situation with Sam Darnold.
Well, I mean, imagine if he would have went to the Niners. I mean, he would have been. I mean, they probably would have traded Jimmy Garoppolo, or maybe they would have kept Darnold as a backup to Garoppolo just in case he didn't do well. But I mean, that would have been crazy in my opinion if Sam Darnold would have went to San Francisco because I think he would have been in a better situation because they have George Kittle, who's the second best tight end in the league. They have a solid running game. Kyle Shanahan's a great coach. I think Darnold would have been a lot more successful there, but and I guess we'll never know because now he's with the Panthers and he's there for at least this year or next year. Did you by chance see Sam Darnold's press conference?
No, I did not.
All right, here is Sam Darnold's press conference right here.
Hey Sam, this is Nick Carboni. I'm with the NBC affiliate here in Charlotte. As you get a little chance to reflect, how would you sum up your 3 years in New York, and what was your reaction when you found out you were being traded to Carolina?
Yeah, so obviously getting drafted as high as I did, my expectations were to go in there, play 20 years, and win Super Bowls, and that was the dream going in there, and but obviously it didn't work out, and so but I'm thankful and just thankful for the opportunity that that organization gave me for the 3 years that I was with them. But now coming in as a Carolina Panther, I'm very excited for this opportunity, and just to come in with a fresh start, and just excited to get going.
Let's go to Josh Klein.
Hey, Sam. What lessons did you learn from your first 3 years in the league? And then also, completely separate question, how excited are you to play with Christian McCaffrey and DJ Moore and the rest of the weapons here in Charlotte?
Yeah, so I learned a ton, good and bad, in New York. I think there's stuff that you can take away from both aspects. I think just what I learned throughout my 3 years being a pro. You learn so much more as years go on, just with experience, and I'm going to take that with me forever. And then in terms of the weapons, I'm really excited to play with these guys here. And obviously I have some experience playing with Robbie Anderson, so super excited to continue that relationship and continue to play with him. And then obviously there's a lot of other guys as well, so very excited about the opportunity to play here, and just play with guys like Christian, DJ, David Moore, Dan Arnold, just to name a few.
Jonathan Alexander.
Hey Sam, hope all is well. I'm just curious, why do you think that you could be successful in this particular offense and with the new start with the Panthers?
Yeah, I think first of all, this organization, just the attention to detail with the culture here is one of a kind, and I think starting with Mr. Tepper, and then Mr. Fitter, and then obviously Coach Rule, being able to come in here and be on the same wavelength in terms of what the culture needs to be, and spreading that throughout the organization. And then in terms of the offense, haven't talked to Joe a ton about it. I mean, obviously I'm just fresh off getting traded and been talking to him now for a few days. So it's exciting stuff. I know what the offense is capable of, and just excited to hit the ground running.
Well, do you think Sam Darnold will do in his first season in Carolina?
I think he does okay. I don't think he does great. Like I said, I think you mentioned earlier that the Panthers still aren't great. I do think they're better than the Jets, though. So I think he does slightly better than he will with the Jets, but not much.
What do you have on there, or what do you project? How many games did they win this season?
I would say maybe 5 or 6.
In my opinion, I think they went 5-11 last year, and this year there's now 17 games, so I could see them going 6-11 again. But if McCaffrey's not healthy, then I don't see them winning more games, maybe one more game, because again, there's 17 games this season. But imagine now, McCaffrey's got to be healthy, in my opinion. The Panthers need to do something. Like if Devontae Smith is still on the board at number 8, then they should draft him, because actually in my recent mock draft you can check that on Instagram and Facebook and Twitter, I actually have Devontae Smith going number 8 to Carolina. We'll see what ends up happening there. But in my opinion, I think he fits. I think they win 6 games, but again, they need a guy like Devontae Smith in order to help the receivers game, because DJ Moore and Robbie Anderson is not going to do it. They also lost Curtis Samuel to Washington. Ian Thomas has been a very underwhelming tight end. Maybe they get Kyle Pitts if he's still available, but I think Devontae Smith fits them the most. In your mock draft, Michael, who do you have the Panthers taking?
I don't remember off the top of my head, but I believe I had them taking an offensive lineman, because I think I had Devontae Smith already gone at that point. So
Was it Penny Sewell by chance?
no, I had Penny still going to the Bengals. It was I think Rashad Benton.
Oh, okay. I haven't heard much about him, because I think it was the guy out of USC that was the second best tackle. But there's also, I think, the Ohio State guard Wyatt Davis that's been solid. But yeah, the Panthers, they need so much help on that offensive line. I mean, Russell Okung only played 7 games last year. I mean, we'll see what ends up happening with him, but it looks like that he could be out of Carolina once his contract is over. But do you have anything else to add about Sam Darnold, Michael?
No.
Okay. Thanks for listening to the Sports Town Podcast, or the STP Pod for short. If you want to check out more videos of the Sports Town Podcast, click on the left. If you want to subscribe to the channel, click on the right.